Есть, все нормально. Так, мы готовы, я включаю запись, у вас все слышно, у вас все видно, да?
Да.
Я вас поздравляю, это, наверное, главная сенсация драфта в первом раунде. Родион выбран под номером 15. Как вы готовили эту сенсацию? Дэн, вопрос вам сначала.
Паш, на самом деле мы за сутки знали приблизительно то, что мы уйдем в районе, был большой интерес от Баффало под номером 8 до приблизительно до 22-го все команды были готовы взять Родиона, плюс-минус. То есть мы знали, когда за 2 дня до драфта позвонил генеральный менеджер из Торонто, спросил, как произнести правильно Родиона имя, Родион на русском языке. Я тогда уже знал, что он тренируется, готовится, чтобы его взять. На самом деле Торонто любит таких мастеровитых хоккеистов с высоким IQ. Поэтому не секрет то, что, и в принципе большого сюрприза не было, то, что выберет Торонто. Также сегодня утром Родион последний раз общался 1 на 1 с генеральным менеджером Кайлом Дубасом. То есть мы, в принципе, сидели, ждали нашего 15-го выбора плюс-минус.
Родион, ваши эмоции во время драфта, когда шел 1, 2, 3, 5 номер, да, выбрали Аскарова, что вы чувствовали, когда подбиралась к Торонто к 15 номеру?
Да, эмоции самые положительные. Когда выбирали Аскарова, был только рад за него. А так, спасибо всем агентам, родителям, самое главное, то, что вели меня к этому, и только положительные эмоции. Рад оказаться в такой организации, как Торонто.
Ну, то есть ты знал, что, скорее всего, будет 15 номер, у тебя было такое уже уверенное чувство, да?
Ну да, как сказал Дэн, готовились, примерно приблизительно уже знали, поэтому очень рад.
Ты уже понимал, что попадаешь в команду, которая наравне с Тампой одна из лучших атак лиги, да? Там можно перечислять громкие имена, что ты скажешь о них, кто тебя впечатляет больше всего? Там, не знаю, Марнер, Таварес.
Да там все, в принципе, нападающие подобраны, большие мастера, поэтому только работать. Лично для меня это каждый день упорных тренировок.
Дэн,
попасть туда и закрепиться.
Дэн, как у вас налажен мостик с Кайлом Дубасом, потому что Михеев, Барабанов, третий ваш клиент Амиров, там что вы вместе кушаете на ужин, как удалось найти такой контакт с Торонто?
Ты знаешь, у меня хороший контакт со многими командами, у нас приблизительно в компании около, ребята, более 20 командах. В Торонто на протяжении последних 5 лет у нас было очень много игроков, включая партнера по команде Никита Сошников, который, кстати, Кайл Дубас в очередной раз его увидел. Также Саша Барабанов, Сема Дерагунчинцев и Алексей Марченко играл, Никита Зайцев был в этой команде, Ренат Валиев, Игорь Ожиганов и так далее. То есть на самом деле Торонто очень любит русских хоккеистов, русский хоккей, и поэтому здесь не было никакого сюрприза, когда выбрали Родиона именно под 15 номером.
Родион, контракт у вас заканчивается в 2021 году. Какие у вас... Нельзя говорить, опять же, при действующем контракте с Салаватом Юлаевым, великолепный клуб, но какая мечта есть через сезон?
Сейчас моя задача – это только в клубе, поэтому работаю каждый день усердно. Буду помогать Салавату Юлаеву выиграть Кубок Гагарина. Дальнейшие планы не заглядываю. Конечно, играть в НХЛ – это мечта любого парня.
Насколько помогает, опять же, ситуация с пандемией и все остальное, но сейчас вам есть доверие в клубе, первое звено, голы пошли. Насколько уверенность растет с каждым матчем?
Спасибо, конечно, да, руководству, тренерскому штабу, что доверяют. Выхожу в первых звеньях, есть игровое время, слава богу, что забиваю. Уверенность растет с каждым днем, с каждой игрой, поэтому...
Какие новости по молодежному чемпионату мира, где вы можете стать одним из лидеров сборной России? Что говорит Игорь Ларионов, как он выходит на связь или пока вас не трогает?
Да, новостей пока особо так нету, особо не общаемся. Так, через Михаила Саныча Васильева привет, пожелания какие-то передает Игорь Николаевич, поэтому так.
Извините, ребята, я вас сейчас перебью на секундочку. Я вам сейчас покажу эксклюзивчик. Мне только что генеральный менеджер прислал вот это.
20-й номер. Уже был выбран номер или 20-й год?
Нет, 20-й год драфта, поэтому так как сейчас 2020, Поэтому 2020, Амиров, это этот год, а номер, естественно, будем, когда время придет, тогда уже будем говорить про номер. Но вот твоя майка вместе с кепкой приедет тебе в Уфу.
Буквально несколько вопросов еще задам, чтобы долго не задерживать, потому что сейчас ночь и идет регулярный чемпионат КХЛ. Это очень необычная ситуация. Кстати, вот если говорить о номере, под каким бы номером хотелось играть? Когда-нибудь, опять же, мы не знаем, но вот если мечта.
Ну, мой любимый номер это 7, и, ну, также 27, под которым я сейчас играю.
Если бы, кстати, выбрали во втором раунде, ну, то есть мы знали, что, скорее всего, будет первый, это была бы вообще абсолютно уникальная ситуация. Ты бы узнал об этом во время матча Салавата Юлаева в Сибири. То есть это еще один стимул, чтобы быть выбран в первом раунде, да?
Наверное, да.
Ты знаешь, на самом деле, когда мы познакомились с Родионом приблизительно 2,5-3 года назад, мы тогда понимали то, что это парень с очень большим потенциалом. И когда я ему первый раз позвонил, я думал, ты не совсем, когда тебя набрал, ты даже не поверил, да, что тебе звонит вообще, дядя, что вы от меня хотите, да?
Да.
И вот мы 2 года спустя в первом раунде. Поздравляйте, Родион.
Кстати, есть в Твиттере NHL Public Relations, есть каждого игрока на драфте сравнивать с кем-то. Родиона сравнивать с Никитой Кучеровым. То есть, опять же, тут видна рука Дэна Мильштейна, да, Никита Кучеров его клиент, но насколько Дэн соответствует прототипу, похож ли Родион на Никиту Кучерова?
Ты знаешь, у каждого свой путь, у каждого своя судьба. Здесь будем говорить так, Родион Амиров похож на Родиона Амирова. И это самое главное. Будь лучше, чем кто-либо другой, будь сам собой.
Последний вопрос. Насколько есть такое вдохновение, потому что сейчас ночь, да, надо утром тренировка есть, да, у вас?
Да, конечно.
Во сколько?
10 часов уже сбор там.
Поэтому... Да. Ляжешь еще поспать немножко?
Да, пару часиков вздремну и пойду.
Насколько у тебя будет такое вдохновение, чтобы сделать хет-трик в Сибири?
Ну, буду работать, стараться. Все, опять же, зависит от меня. Поэтому буду выходить и работать.
Спасибо тебе и удачи. Дэн, поздравляю. Великолепный драфт.
Спасибо большое.
Спасибо большое.
Hi, everyone. Yaroslav, congratulations. Just curious how you're feeling right now and how excited are you to be drafted, not only at number 11, but of course to join the Nashville Predators organization.
Аскар, привет. Поздравляем тебя, добро пожаловать. Какие чувства у тебя сейчас о том, как тебя задрафтовали? Ты понял.
Эмоции переполняют, да, счастье, радость. Поэтому пока что до сих пор, я еще не понял, что произошло.
Yeah, he's very happy about, very excited and not even understand what's going on right now. So happy.
All right, Brian Baston is next. Brian, your question, go for it.
Hey, congratulations. I'm just wondering if you've given any thought to the opportunity to learn behind goaltenders like Pecorine and UC Saros, and if you're excited to get to work when you can. Thank you.
Martin?
Sorry about that. Congratulations. I was just wanting to know if you were excited about the opportunity to learn behind goaltenders such as Pecorine and UC Saros, who have been in the league for a long time and been pretty successful.
Ярик?
Да.
Также тебя поздравляют и спрашивают, как ты относишься к тому, что ты будешь после этих вратарей, после Пекарина и Ласис, да, там второй финн. Они уже много отыграли в НХЛ, и у них есть, да, там, бэкграунд вот этот. Как ты себя чувствуешь, что они уже...
Да, отлично, да, это очень хорошие вратари, да, если честно, то они мне нравятся игрой, да, и если посмотреть интервью мои, да, которые я давал, я во многих интервью говорил, что мне что Сарос, что Пекарина нравится, поэтому это очень опытные ребята, да, с которыми будет интересно, да, если на тот момент я приеду, они еще будут, да, то это будет очень классно, да, с ними потренироваться, поиграть, да, набраться какого-то опыта, ну, и ничего, думаю, страшного, то, что они более опытнее меня, я буду брать молодостью.
Presented by Pillow Windows and Doors of Nashville, Chase McCabe, Justin Bradford.
Yeah, he said it's a very good opportunity, and these two goalies, he's very happy to be with them, and he says like even when he do interview, he says this goalies is very good, and he look forward to learn something from them and see how it works, and very excited to meet them and see how is in NHL, like everything is going on, like practicing, and look forward to learn something from them.
I just want to, I remember when we met with Yaroslav after the game in St. Petersburg, like we took him out for a dinner along with our Swedish scout, Lucas Berkman. And I know Yaroslav told us about how much he likes Pekka and UC and how much he's looking after them. And now, he will have the chance to work with them. So I think that's
correct.
Good deal. Next up, Justin Bradford. Justin, your question?
Yes, congratulations, Yaroslav. The big thing is that you've been compared by some people to Vladislav Tretiak, obviously one of the most legendary goaltenders, especially a Russian goaltender. How does it feel to be compared to him? And what does that mean to you, especially as a Russian, to be compared to one of the greatest of all time to play in that position?
Ты занимаешь такую же позицию, как легендарный Владислав Третьяк, и как ты себя чувствуешь, что ты представляешь как бы и Россию, и то, что его имя на воротах, да, но уже как бы, соответственно, на территории Америки, да?
А как именно я представляю его имя?
Ну как именно ты, да, чувствуешь себя, что, знаешь? Ну да, как бы такой вопрос, знаешь, как ты, у тебя есть как бы в голове, да, то, что есть Третьяк, да, и теперь есть ты, который можешь тоже стать легендарным, и как бы есть к чему расти, но вот в этом смысле, знаешь.
Ну, я понимаю то, что как бы есть, как мне как-то правильно это выразить, есть куда расти, да, есть, получается, потенциал, и который стоит развивать, и поэтому все возможности расти и прогрессировать, и дай бог, да, чтобы так все получилось, и быть, да, не вторым Третьяком, а первым Аскаровым.
Да, да. He said this, of course, he know this big name, this Tretyak, and he wanna be first too, and he look forward to learn everything same, and be greatest Russian goalie #1 in NHL. So like everybody know him too, like Tretyak.
Next up is Sean Smith. Sean, your question?
First, congratulations, Yaroslav. Second, my question is, what are you most nervous about when it comes to playing in North America?
Поздравляю тебя и спрашивают, что самое первое, да, что ты нервничаешь, да, в чем есть какие-то у тебя сомнения по приезду в Северную Америку? В чем вот состоит какая-то твоя нервозность?
Да, у меня нет желания, да, есть как бы желание и страсть, да, приехать, поэтому не знаю, поэтому никакого волнения не испытываю. Может, на данный момент, как бы, ну, может, потом оно будет, появится, но на данный момент нет.
He said he's very confident about himself, like not nervous, and he just look forward to so exciting and just go and play his game.
All right, I'm presuming that this next question will be putting Yaroslav in his own element. Sergey Demidov, your question.
Ярослав, здравствуйте. Поздравляю вас с выбором. У меня два вопроса, если можно. Первый вопрос. Сейчас час поздний, наверное, с Яковом Трениным еще не успели обсудить то, что у вас теперь общий клуб. И если не успели обсудить, то обсуждали ли с ним Нэшвилл, что он рассказывал про команду? И второй вопрос, что вы чувствуете от того, что вы стали самым высоко выбранным вратарем российским на драфте? Hey guys, I got two questions to Yaroslav. First question was about Yakov Trenin, who he plays now with in Sky, and did he have any conversation about Predators? And second question was, what does he feel about being the highest ranked Russian goalie in the draft? Thanks.
Ну, получается, с Яшей Тренином не сильно много получилось, даже, я скажу, потренироваться. Если не ошибаюсь, мы один лет вместе тренировались, после чего, ну, как бы, они уехали на выезд, а я остался, да, по определенным, да, причинам, как бы, вот, поэтому не особо даже успели так познакомиться, поэтому, я думаю, в скором времени я выйду, да, и мы уже обсудим все эти вопросы.
Dennis?
Yeah, he says it's he only see him training one time, and he is not talking about this. So next time he will see him, he will tell him about he drafted now in Nashville, and they will talk about everything.
Great, Sergey. Thank you for.
Second question, if you don't mind, about being the highest Russian goal in the draft.
Да-да, ты не ответил, Ярик, на второй вопрос по поводу того, что ты русский высоко пошел на драфт.
Да я не знаю, как бы,
Вратарь.
я даже не знаю, как и что на это отвечать, да. Как бы не задумался, да, на этот счет еще. Поэтому я не знаю, как на этот вопрос даже ответить пока что.
Ну, долго шел к этому, поэтому и пришел, да?
Да я, ну, можно так сказать, но я говорю, еще пока что как бы не осознал это.
Yeah, so he just don't thinking about this, or he just play hockey and don't. It's not in his mind right now, like he first round or whatever.
All right, we'll take one last question. Abigail Martin, you are up and should be able to talk now.
First of all, congratulations on the pick. You mentioned that since you were a boy, you've dreamed of being in the NHL. So I have to ask, who was your idol growing up?
Поздравляю тебя со всем. И вопрос такой, кто был твоим кумиром, да, когда ты был маленький?
Ну-ка, прям маленький, не знаю, первые вратарские шаги, когда я делал, кумиром был Джонатан Куик.
So Jonathan Quick was his best idol, yeah.
В Нью-Джерси Девилс, и сейчас буду задавать вопросы. Мы столько с тобой вдвоем на линии. Все остальные там.
Хорошо.
Okay, we're ready.
Shakir, I'm just wondering what your emotions were in that, moment where you heard your name called, and were you expecting that?
Какие твои эмоции были, когда ты узнал о том, что ты получил вот эту возможность и будешь играть в Нью-Джерси Девилс?
Очень сильно обрадовался. Так, сердце даже сильно забилось, то есть не ожидал, что выберут так высоко. Безусловно, только одни положительные эмоции, и я счастлив стать частью этой команды, этой системы, то есть и сделал все возможное, чтобы помочь команде выиграть Кубок Стэнли, добиться успехов.
I was very happy when I heard it, very excited. I never thought I will be so high in the first round. Even my heart was beating so hard, so fast, so I was not very happy and still are. What my opinion, so I'm very glad I'm part of this beautiful organization, New-Jersey Devils, and I'm willing to bring this team to Stanley Cup champions.
If you could describe what your game is like for fans of this team who have never seen you play, how would you describe your play?
Как бы ты описал свою игру, которую вот люди, которые никогда не видели, как ты играешь? Как бы ты ее описал?
Я считаю себя атакующим защитником. Люблю подключаться к атаке и помогать в атаке нападающим. Но одновременно я и про оборону не забываю. То есть такой некий двухсторонний атакующий защитник.
I will describe it like two-way defenseman, but I like to be in offensive zone and make a shot and scoring goals. But of course, I'm not forgetting my, job to be defensive. So I consider myself two-way defenseman.
Shakir, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen scouting reports that said you had the hardest shot in the draft. Is that something? I'm not asking you to compare, but is that something you can see yourself being from the point, maybe someday on the power play, that sort of thing?
Ну, вот они тебя видят, что ты можешь играть и в нападении тоже, как бы твоя, как ты видишь себя в нападении тоже. Какие вопросы? Как ты себя видишь в нападении? Будешь больше играть в нападении?
Ну, если честно говоря, не хочу загадывать, я буду рад любой возможности вообще просто выступать за команду, то есть в этой лиге. Да, буду доказывать то, что я достоин играть в большинстве, то есть получать много игрового времени. И опять же, повторюсь, наверное, буду делать все возможное, чтобы мне доверяли и верили в меня.
So for me, it's more important to play in this team, and I will do everything possible to bring team to the winners. And I would like to play in my defenseman, and of course, I would like to score a goal. This is my major goal, to bring team to win a game.
Has it? It's a very different situation. This half of the world is not playing right now. This half of the world is not playing right now, but you were able to play and have played quite well. Is your season going well right now?
Ты понимаешь, сейчас ситуация такая, что весь мир практически не играет в хоккей, только ты имеешь вот такую возможность, но не только ты, континентальная хоккейная лига имеет возможность играть в хоккей. И ты понимаешь, что сейчас такая у тебя возможность, как тебе нравится это, что происходит сейчас, и как ты это можешь описать. И вот тебе получается этот сезон достаточно хорошо, как ты его можешь описать, сезон, в котором ты играешь?
Ну, к этому сезону я подходил максимально, наверное, серьезно, очень интенсивно и сильно готовился к нему летом, в предсезонный промежуток. Да, наверное, сейчас я рад то, что мне стали больше доверять игрового времени, начали давать играть в большинстве, но, опять же, на данный момент я считаю то, что я еще не закрепился в команде, то есть у меня еще все впереди, и нужно продолжать работать, чтобы доказывать руководству клуба и тренерскому штабу то, что они не ошибаются в том, что дают мне игровое время.
So I was preparing for this season very seriously. All fights during the summertime, I was preparing very much. I knew this season will be very difficult for me, but I'm playing right now, and coaches and management, they trust me, they put me in a power play, they give me a lot of ice time, and I understand, I appreciate it very much, but still I understood I have to work more hard to bring my level to more high level, and I'm never stopping to work and to sure and prove what they really gave me chance to play, and I would like to play more and more. I will try to do my best during this season.
What time was it over where you were when you found out you were drafted by the Devils?
Какое было время, когда ты узнал, что ты, время суток, когда ты в Нью-Джерси тебя выбрали?
Ну, я на самом деле проснулся к началу драфта, встал заранее, то есть все пики смотрел, а у нас время было примерно около 7 часов, без 10 7 примерно утро было.
So I woke up early, and by my time it was probably 6:50 when I started watching draft, and I just tried to watch everything. So I knew that around when it was happened. I knew it in life. When it was happened.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Shakir?
Yeah, just one here. Shakir, you know, what we know about you mostly in North America is that you're a guy with a lot of tools, skating, size, obviously a hard shot. What have you been working on to make those tools and talents translate into results and production?
Ну вот ты работаешь над своими качествами. Что ты делаешь для того, чтобы стать, вот бросать? Что делать для того, чтобы сделать тебя хорошим игроком? Какие качества ты развиваешь? Ты хочешь?
Я сейчас развиваю гибкость, ловкость свою. Также физические данные развиваю. Ну и над броском постоянно работаю после тренировки. То есть остаюсь там, это броски сходу, с кистей. Ну и над катанием тоже. То есть сейчас, скорее всего, начну ходить к каким-то тренерам, там, чтобы отдельно заниматься индивидуально над катанием.
I practically working on all aspects, flexibility, strengths. I trying to bring my skating better. Even I will probably find soon some kind of private coach for skating. I try to work on all aspects what a hockey player has to be work on. And any aspects I would like to improve.
Did he follow the NHL at all? Did he have a favorite player growing up?
I'm sorry, can you repeat one more time what the question was?
Did he follow the NHL at all? And did he have a favorite player growing up, someone that he's liked and patterns his game off of?
Он спрашивает, когда ты следишь за НХЛ, и какие-то есть игроки, которых бы ты хотел пародировать, чтобы, ну, как бы похожими быть на них? Есть такие игроки?
Есть те, которые нравятся, то есть никого не пародирую, делаю как-то свою игру создаю, а так симпатична игра атакующих защитников, там, как Клинберг, Хейсканен, Карлсон, то есть Хедман нравится, как играет, так на него часто смотрю, так как он тоже такой же габарит, как и я примерно, и то есть многому учусь у этих игроков.
Season makes a big difference from June to training camp time, and you know, it gave us some extra time, and we were very high on him already based on last year, but we just kept getting better and better viewings on him, and to be able to get more and more convinced about his ability and projection, and we had him very high on our list, and you know, we had some chances to move back and take a chance of maybe getting him later. But if there's one thing that I've learned over the 25 years that I've been involved with NHL teams is that if you have one guy available so high on your list, you don't move back, you take him. If you have several guys, and let's say 3 guys available, and you're moving back 5, 6 spots, you can be assured that you're going to get one of those guys, or 90% sure, or whatever the percentage may be. But we had Егор in our top 10, and we weren't going to move back and take a chance that somebody takes him in between. So we're extremely happy to have him.
Next, we'll go to Mike A. Reyes. Go ahead, Mike.
Question was asked and answered. Thank you.
All right, next question will go to Mark of the Hockey Writers. Go ahead, Mark. Mark, you there? Okay, we'll go to Jared Smalley. Go ahead, Jared.
Got me okay, Yarmo?
Yep.
Excellent. Just summarize your day. I mean, how you improved your hockey club today. Obviously, you announced a significant trade today, and then this pick tonight. I understand this pick tonight isn't necessarily a next year scenario. It's a long-term play. But overall, how did the Blue Jackets fare today, and the momentum you have for your future?
Well, we're happy with the trade we made today. We got a centerman that we've been looking for in Max Domi, and he's going to fill a hole for us that we've been looking to fill for a long time. And you know, excited about him joining our club. He brings a lot of different qualities that we're looking for. He's competitive. He's feisty. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. He's got good hockey sense. He's got speed. So he's going to bring a lot of those things into our club, and he plays like a Blue Jacket. So we're excited to have him. And we added skill. We added scoring ability with our draft pick. So it was a good day.
Next, we'll go to Aaron Portsline. Go ahead, Porty.
Yarmo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You said you had Чинахов in your top 10. Can you be more specific, and did you find yourself laughing when you saw where some teams had him or some ranking services had him or didn't have him, how little attention he was getting coming into the draft?
Well, with all due respect, we have our scouts for a reason, and that's who we believe in, and their list is the most important things, their reports. And as I said, we've been watching this guy, following this guy all year and into this year, and he was very high on our list, and we're excited to have him.
Next, we'll go to Brian Hedger. Go ahead, Hedge. Go ahead and unmute, Hedge. Okay, we'll go to Sean Rourke. Sean, go ahead. Nope, no Sean. Okay, we'll go back to Mike A-Race.
I got nothing. I'm just wondering if you're going to announce the signing of Domi tomorrow.
Probably not tomorrow, but we're working on it, and we're not worried at all that we're not going to get a contract done with him. And you know, we have his rights for a minimum of 2 years, so he's excited to come here. We've talked to him. I talked to him personally. Torch talked to him, and our leadership group players talked to him. He's very excited to join our club, and I'm sure we can work out a contract.
Next, we'll go to Aaron Portsline.
Hey, Yarmo, the deal obviously has great meaning to you in terms of getting a skilled centerman back. Can you speak to your thoughts on Josh Anderson as he leaves this organization after several years of being a pretty high impact player here?
Yeah, we have a very high opinion of Josh Anderson, both as a player and as a teammate and a good guy, and we're going to miss him. But when the rights to a player are expiring, you know, you have to make hard decisions, and we made it very clear to him before this happened that if we can't agree on a contract, then he's going to get moved, and there was no gray area there, and we had to make this decision now to protect our asset and get the best return for it, and we were able to fill a need with Max Domi. So sometimes you may have to make those decisions, and then you move on, and wish Josh the best of luck and thank him.
Okay, we'll try Mark. And Mark, you ready? Can you unmute, please? No, apparently not. Jeff Svoboda, go ahead, Jeff.
You mentioned, I guess I am live. You mentioned, obviously you had Чинахов very high. What were the qualities that stood out to you and the scouting staff that made such a high pick? I mean, if you've seen some of the highlights, it looks like he has a pretty good shot, but what do you see in him, in his ability to develop and stand out at the next level?
Well, I think he has a very high skill level and great on-ice awareness. He can see the ice, make plays. He's got good one-on-one skill and a tremendous shot, as you mentioned. So he's got a lot of different qualities that we think is going to translate to the North American game and the NHL game. That's why we drafted him where we did, and that's why we had him so high on our list.
Okay, now we'll go to Sean Rourke. Go ahead, Sean.
Yarmo, this is somewhat related. I'm curious what the changes in his game were from last year to this year as you followed him that made him a more attractive player.
Well, it just keeps improving, and like I said in the beginning of this Zoom call, he played 21-30 last KHL game, And for an NHL coach and everybody who knows Bob Hartley knows that he's not handing out ice time for free. You got to earn it. And he speaks very highly of Чинахов as well. And he's a player that we see a tremendous upside with. We think he's going to be a top two line player in the National Hockey League. And to get that kind of potential at the pick 21, we're very excited about it.
Next, we'll go to Brian.
Hey, Yarmo. Were you concerned? Did you have any concern at all that he was going to be there at 21? Or did you guys kind of know who was going to be there at that point?
Well, you never know what the teams are thinking ahead of you. And, we were fairly confident that he would be there. But there were also teams behind us that were trying to move up, and we didn't want to take a chance of moving back, even though we considered it long and hard. But like I said, one thing I've learned over the years is that when you want a guy and he's the only guy really that's that high that you have available and separates himself from any other group of players that's still available, then you take him.
Next, we'll go to Ken Campbell. Ken, do you have a question?
Yeah, Yarmo, Чинахов is a 2001, which, makes him 19 years old. I'm wondering if, that extra year, obviously that helped him, but I'm wondering how that might affect his development curve, and, does that make him a little more NHL ready than maybe some of the other kids that you saw?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. I don't think that we're worried about drafting a little bit older player, and I don't think we're looking at who's going to be ready first. I think we're trying to project the career, and that's the main focus on it. I think some people may be concerned that he's gone through a draft. We're not. I remember taking David Perron when I was working for St. Louis, and that was a concern on him. It's turned out pretty good for his career. And, as far as being ready, yeah, that could be a positive thing. But at the same time, I think the whole career is the main thing. And that's what we're trying to project always when we make our decisions.
We'll go back to Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, I'm all set.
Okay. Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Yarmo, with a lot of some of the guys in the KHL, obviously there can be, contract stuff and trying to get them over here to North America. Do you know anything about that yet? Is that a concern at this point?
No, he's got this year left on his contract, and when he's ready to come to North America and ready to play in the National Hockey League, I always have that belief that the best player in the world want to play in the best hockey league in the world, and that's what we believe in this case as well.
Okay, looks Ken, you have another question?
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
All right, any more questions for Yarmo? Hedge, do you have more?
Yeah, I have one more. Just, with you guys signed Grigorenko, you've drafted, I think, 3 Russian forwards, won each of the past 3 years. Gavrikov, it's kind of getting a Russian feel. Is that just by coincidence, or are you guys kind of hitting Russia maybe a little harder with the scouting?
Well, I always get criticized for not taking the Finns, so I guess I'd have to give it the same answer that the cover of the passports. That had nothing to do with it, and we just rank the players based on their ability, and that's it.
Last question will go to Demidov. Sergey, can you unmute? Okay, I guess we're done. Well, thanks everybody for joining us.
Danielle, go ahead.
Hi, Kyle. What attributes did you see in Rodionome Amировым that gave you comfort in making the decision to select him at 15?
The attributes that we like, Danielle, with Rodion are, number one is his speed. We consider it to be amongst the best in the class. We liked his ability throughout last year and then into this season as well to find a way to make an impact at the KHL level. And he certainly did that, especially as they've had some injuries and illness on their club, and he's been able to step up this year and continue to play. He's played for the national team and played well there. When he's not producing, he's able to contribute using his speed on the penalty kill, forechecking, and we really like his game on and off the puck. So we were excited to have the chance to take him when we did.
What can you say about Jim Palafito's influence and just his knack for cultivating relationships and finding players overseas like this?
Yeah, I would say Jimmy does an unbelievable job for us in every facet in which we employ him, and he is especially great when it comes to cultivating agents. And everything. I think everyone knows the list of players that have come over here. Obviously, we've got Barabanov and Lettinen getting set to start with us next season, but Mikheyev prior to him, Ozhiganov, Zaitsev, Altonen, Lindholm. So Jimmy's done an excellent job. He spends a lot of time there, a lot of time building relationships with the players and the agents and even the teams to sort of make the player. I think more than anything, it makes the players comfortable in deciding where to go and coming here, and then makes them comfortable when they come here and that they've already got a relationship with a key member of our staff. With this pick here, obviously, Jim has watched Rodionum play a lot, but we've also have to give credit to our European staff, Ari Vuri, our director of European scouting, as well as Grigory Shafigul and Oleg Korskovs. So, they were all very high on him, did a lot of background work on him, and we are appreciative of their efforts.
Great. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Jonas Siegel with The Athletic. Jonas, go ahead.
Hey, Kyle, I'm just wondering how much you were able to get over and see him before kind of everything happened.
I did not see him play live. I saw him at the Canada-Russia series that the CHL puts on, but I did not see him play live in Russia. But I feel like I've watched every single one of his games in the course of the pause, as our video staff with Will Sibley and Adam Chen-Silowitz and our scouting staff have done a great job of making that readily available to us. So it's been good to be able to spend a lot of time watching all of these players, Jonas.
Does that give you a different perspective watching on video versus in person?
I think so. I think the positives of video are you're able to stop and rewind and go back and double check things live. I think you get a great read on the players' body language, how they interact with their teammates, some of the things you can't see on the camera. So I think both have their uses. Unfortunately, for the last 7 months, with the way that everything has gone in the world, video was the only way to go. And, we weren't able to go back over there once their season started for obvious reasons regarding to travel restrictions. So, I think we appreciate both in-person and video scouting. Our scouts last year saw him play a ton over in Russia in the VHL, MHL, KHL, and in international play. And we were able to do a lot on video from March to today.
We'll go to Kevin McGran with the Toronto Star. Kevin, go ahead.
Hey, Kyle, I wonder if you can give me an idea of what sort of the ambience of the draft was. Like, did the remoteness of it change how much you might have talked to other teams about moving up or moving down or anything like that? Were there any kind of video glitches or anything like that along the way that you worried?
No glitches. I think the staff here in our building did a great job. Reed Mitchell, as always, and then Steve Keogh and his staff on the media relations side, and Emiliano Martinez, who is our IT lead. They had everything ready to roll. So there were no glitches. Very similar to the draft as picks were coming close and our pick was coming close. Lots of activity on the phones for trades up, trades down, and it seemed like business as usual. Like on the floor, you're not walking over to the other teams a lot. They're calling on the phone. It was the same way here, Kevin. So a little bit different, similar in terms of the ambience in the actual draft room that it was during my time in the Sioux when we did the drafts a similar way. So all in all, I thought the experience was great.
Thanks, Kyle.
Next, we'll go to Chris Johnston with Sportsnet. Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Kyle. It seemed that you went right down to the wire there before the pick was announced. Were you debating the selection or weighing a trade or just dramatic pause?
Well, we try to reduce the drama as much as we can here, Chris. That's our goal anyway. We'd like to be more successful at it as we move ahead. But there were a number of trade situations that we were considering. But if we were going to make the pick, it wasn't at all a discussion of Rodion versus anybody else. We were just contemplating all the different scenarios that were coming in, really from the time Winnipeg picked right through to our pick right at the very end, and then in the end just made the pick right at the buzzer.
Okay. And you mentioned the other day sort of the need league-wide to try to get players into the lineup as soon as it can be. Do you have any idea on Rodion's future here? Is it longer term, do you think, because he's in Russia, or what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I would say, Chris, that I don't know if it's going to be a need. I think there'll just be I don't know if I would term it as a need. I just think it will be something that will happen naturally just because of the various different limitations that are going to be placed on every team economically and with the salary cap staying flat. My feeling would be that with Rodion, his contract expires at the end of the season with UFA, and in our discussions with him, it's been deemed as his desire to have a great season there, and then have a discussion about his status. They've done a great job with him there in developing him and making him earn his way up the lineup and at the KHL level, and when he's going to be lower in the lineup and not have his minutes right, they've got a great situation where they put him into the VHL and get him big minutes there in all situations. So we think very highly of their program and the way that they've developed them thus far. So we'll continue to stay in touch with his representative Дэном Mильштейном at Gold Star and with Rodion and the club there as well.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Terry Koshan with the Toronto Sun. Terry, go ahead.
Hey, Kyle, I guess this kind of goes off Chris's question, but I suppose when you take somebody at 15 as a forward, does he project to you as a top 6 eventually if everything pans out?
Yeah, I think with the way that our team is constructed, Terry, by the time he's at his peak and sort of getting into his potential, he just turned 18 years old here, 19 years old at the beginning of the month, actually a few days ago. So by the time he's kind of entering into his prime, it's 5 years from now. And, suddenly the guys who are part of our core will all be nearing 30. That's kind of sad to think about, but that's just the reality of the situation. So I think we certainly envision him because of his ability on and off the puck to be able to play up with our top players, with his speed, with his playmaking ability, and his ability to drive possession and the puck in transition. So that's our expectation when we're picking somebody there, is try to find someone that can play at the top of our lineup.
I know we always like to look down the road on these things and all that, but some of the flavor of a Kucherov seems to be there in this player. Do you see the same sort of thing, or do you want to dare make that comparison at this point?
Well, if it turns out that way, Terry will be thrilled. That's a heck of a player. It's tough to compare because Kucherov was in North America at the time, and obviously I think the numbers are in Major Junior are easier to accumulate than if you're playing in men's professional level in Russia or in Europe as a 17 and 18-year-old. So what we like about him is that, especially, in international play and at the under 18 tournaments and various different events, he's scored at a high level. When he's been with UFA at the MHL and VHL level, he scored there. And then now at the KHL level this year, not that this year played a huge factor in it, but he's up at the top of their lineup and their top 2 lines on their team, and he's scoring there as well. So all of that I think is intriguing to us. But the fact that, despite, I think that when you started talking about drafting Russian forwards in particular, I think the narrative and sort of the what gets branded on them is that they may not be a good two-way player, but this guy really is, and we really like what he brings on both sides of the puck.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go to Joshua Cloak with The Athletic. Josh, go ahead.
Kyle, given that there's relatively low uncertainty about where he's going to play this year, the KHL season has already started. Does that influence the pick at all because he's likely going to get a full season?
I don't think so, Josh. Those are circumstances that the prospects themselves don't control. In talking to the UFA staff, it's certainly alleviated any concerns you would have, because I think if all the other leagues were playing, everyone was there, then you'd be worried, is he going to play in the KHL? Is he going to be in the VHL? What level is he going to be at? But, they've had quite a bit of illness and injury in the as recently as 2 weeks ago, he was on their top line with a former player of ours, Nikita Soshnikov. So it gives you a pretty good way to compare him against obviously a much older player 8 years older. But it certainly was appealing to us in talking to the UFA staff, just in how they view him and how they're going to use him throughout the year, because it did eliminate one bit of uncertainty as much as we can. But we didn't hold that against anybody that say they're from the WHL or the USHL or the OHL, or even some of the leagues in Europe that have pushed back, whether it's been in Germany or Switzerland that aren't yet playing. We tried to eliminate that and just say, if the player's not playing, it's not their fault, and they're not in control of it. And we'll do everything we can to develop them.
And just in your limited conversations with him, what kind of stuck out to you about who he is, just kind of off the ice as a person?
Yeah, our staff met with him extensively, and then I met with him recently, just because he was one of the players that was in consideration for the pick. And I think the thing that I liked about him the most was just what he views as his ability to make an impact and where in the lineup, his ability to make an impact up and down the lineup. But I think more than anything, the way that he's talked about what he's faced in the last year and a bit, which has been trying to make his way as a very young player in the KHL on a good team, and earn his way and work his way into being a full-time player and then into the lineup. And not a lot of the players that we draft are faced with that same thing. Whether they're from major junior or college or from other places in Europe, they're usually kind of at the top of the lineup on junior teams or leagues at a bit of a lower level, relatively speaking. And so they've always kind of been top line guys. This guy has had the experience and opportunity already to play up in the lineup and or to work his way up a lineup from being on the fourth line all the way to the top, like most players have to when they come over here. Or turn pro rather in North America. So that's appealing to us. We know he can do that. We know he has the mental dexterity to deal with it when things aren't going well, despite the fact that he's always been a high-end player and he's got to find his way to make an impact. So we really like that about him and some of the others, and that's one of the things that excites us about him.
Thanks, Kyle.
We'll go with two more here before we wrap up. Luke Fox and Josh Clipperton. Luke, we'll start with you. Luke, go ahead.
Hi, Kyle. I believe you have 10 more picks tomorrow. I'm just wondering how eager you are to use one or more of those to try and help the current roster and spend a little bit of futures to help the now.
Yeah, I mean, we would certainly look to that if we could, Luke. I think as you saw tonight, there really wasn't any of that happening, unless I've forgotten something here on the spot. But everything, all the picks, the trades seemed to be for, if there were, they were for picks, and there was no real action on the movement of actual players. I think that's because, as I mentioned in the call yesterday, you see different players that are coming available that aren't being qualified by their teams. So I think before you get into moving assets for players, you want to see everything that's available. But I think that we certainly know what is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get as good a read as we can on the market and free agency. And if there are opportunities tomorrow to improve the team with some of those picks, we won't hesitate to do so.
And just as a follow-up, where do things stand with Evan Rodriguez?
At this point in time, we will not be qualifying Evan.
Thanks. The last one goes to Josh Clipperton with Canadian Press. Josh, go ahead.
Hey, Kyle. Sorry, I'm just a little late getting on this call. I'm just wondering how the communication went between teams with the whole setup tonight, if you thought there was any hindrance, and what you sort of thought of the night all in all. I mean, we have Alex Trebek making a pick. Like, it's just such a weird time. Just how you thought the whole night played out.
I thought the Alex Trebek pick was one of the highlights for me, and all the time watching drafts. It's the greatest show in the history of the television, Jeopardy. So to have him make the pick, I thought that was great by Ottawa, and I thought that was just awesome. So it was well done, and certainly one of the most memorable things that I've seen in that regard. So that was great. I thought that I didn't see the NBC Sun coverage, but I thought, from what we could tell, the Sportsnet coverage was great. The interaction with teams was great. And so there was no real change. I think I'd said, I don't know if you were on, Josh, but Kevin McGran had asked a similar question, but it was all good. No issues at all with communication or anything of that nature.
Great. Thanks, Kyle.
All right. Thanks, everyone. That'll conclude things for tonight. Thanks, Kyle. We'll hold our next availability with management after the draft wraps up tomorrow, with Kyle joined by our Director of Amateur Scouting, John Lilly, and our head coach,